Hello.
Hello, Richard. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And how are you?
Fine, fine.
All right.
Today, trying to have some practice English lesson.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm happy to practice some English with you. And could
Okay.
you could you just start by telling me a little bit about yourself?
Okay. My name is Kerem. I'm calling from Turkey, Istanbul. I'm working for an international company which distributes air condition systems.
Okay.
And I'm working as a managing director in this company, running more than 7, 10 people
Okay.
under my supervision. My main purpose is to increase sales revenues, and
Ah,
that's why it's an international company. I'm trying to improve my level of practice English,
okay. Sounds
and
good.
of course, if I if I progress enough, maybe I will have different opportunities to
Yeah.
transfer to another country. Maybe.
Very good. Okay, so let's start. Can you just describe, you work for a global company and you're managing a team of how many? 6 to 7, right?
7 to 10 depends on the
Seven to
season.
10. Okay, great. And what kind of conversations do you need to have in English? Who are you talking to in English?
Generally, headquarters, our board,
Okay.
and our headquarters based in Greece, and most of our operational departments based in Greece. So they are all Greek people. Uh,
Okay.
we need to communicate in English to run
Yes.
our operation,
Yeah. This is
because our sales team in Turkey built with Turkish people, but our accountants or financial or purchasing, import, export departments are
mhm.
all in Greece. So we need to talk almost every day.
Yeah.
Not talk almost every day, but write emails to each other every day
Okay.
to run business.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
So every day I need English.
Yeah. So not only
And
do
it's a
you
global world. It's a global world. To make business, you need to use your English.
No, that's a fact, and not even just for business. So, for example, if I walk to town, I live in Peru. I live in a mountain
Really?
community. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
an international travel destination. So, if I walk to town, I see Peruvians, but I could also meet someone from Germany. I could meet
Mhm.
people from places all over the world. But what language we're going to be communicating in is English. This is,
Of course, the
yeah,
most popular language in the world.
yeah, and this is something that's this is a reality. So, for
Mhm.
example, I meet a man from the community up here. So when I say community, I mean someone whose ancestors have been living on this land for hundreds of years, and they
Mhm.
don't use a lot of money, but if they're able to learn English, all of a sudden the whole world opens to them. Their economic status
Mhm.
increases. No guarantee, but it can. And all of a sudden, they could
Mhm.
have the opportunity to share their culture with people from
Mhm.
around the world. Um, for instance, I have a friend that I intend to invite to the US to go do speaking events at universities in the United States because I think that his culture and the way they treat the land and the way they connect with nature is something worth sharing with people at these colleges. So interesting. But I wouldn't be able to make these connections unless had they not learned English. So, yeah.
Are you working as a teacher in Peru also?
So I'm working online and I
Mhm.
also bring people up into the mountains.
Mhm.
And so, for instance, if someone comes from the United States or Europe, and they want to learn about Peruvian culture, I can introduce them to a family. I can take them up into the mountains. We can go hiking, can go horseback riding, and we can learn about the native language. We can learn about the way that people live up in these mountains.
So you are a mountain climber, or what was it? American cliffhanger.
Yes. So I wouldn't call myself a mountain climber. I'm more of a counselor that introduces.
We disconnect.
Ah, there you are. I can see you.
Yes, it's a little bit blocked, but I don't know why.
Okay, well, hopefully it smooths out. And so
you mentioned that you are a consultant for climbers.
Not a consultant for climbers. I'm more like a counselor. So
counselor.
Yeah. So if someone comes to Peru and they're looking to learn about the indigenous culture, they're looking to learn about shamanism or plants or things of this nature. And a lot of people come to Peru to connect more deeply with themselves, to find a little bit more purpose in their life. And so it's my job to guide them in that pursuit.
Okay.
So that could mean going up into the mountains, visiting old ruins, just connecting with people who still have a strong connection with nature and to their culture. Because in the United States, places in Europe, some people can feel a bit disconnected. We've had technology and very industrialized society for a very long time, so a lot of people are looking.
So generally, people come to Peru to be a part of nature.
Yeah,
to live in a natural area.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Where are you from originally? United States?
So originally I'm from the United States, and I was born in Florida, but I've also lived in Colorado and California. And how about you? Do you know much about the United States, or do you have any interest in travel?
I haven't been in the United States before, but I have limited information about cities, states, the lifestyle. United States has a huge, wide cultural advertisement, cultural propaganda. So everybody in the world knows so many things about the United States. Some of them true, some of them wrong, but we have an idea.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
So when you say Florida, I thought about Miami, especially.
Okay.
And NASA.
NASA also. Okay.
Yes.
So
launching platforms in Cape Canaveral.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
some movies like Miami Vice, TV shows, or Bad Boys. These kind of things. When you say Florida, and I know it's a warm place, and so many Hispanos live there, and there is also transaction with cultural transaction or industrial or business transaction with different South American countries because it's close by.
Yes.
These kind of things.
Yeah. Well, I think you hit some important points about Florida. One of the major ones, it's really hot. So
yes,
it's a very
humidity.
hot day.
Humidity is also high.
So humid, yes. So as soon as you get off the airplane in Orlando or Miami International Airport, it's like You get hit with the humidity.
I know also Orlando Magic.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I
Yeah.
think Shaquille O'Neal have played for Orlando
Yes, he did.
several years ago.
Yeah, when I was growing up, he was one of my favorite players because I lived in Orlando when I was growing up. So,
Also, there's another team, Miami Heat.
yep, the Miami Heat.
I think that's all.
Yeah, okay.
I think they have also a very popular NFL team, Miami Dolphins. Am I
Yes.
right?
Yes, you are right. Very popular.
These are all I know about Florida.
Okay. Yeah, those are some good things to know about Florida. I remember you mentioned Cape Canaveral. When I was young, my family would go out to the beach near Cape Canaveral and we would watch the shuttle launches.
Really?
Yeah,
Which one?
I don't remember which shuttle launches we would actually go watch, but I just remember being young and seeing the actual trails from the shuttles going up in the air and then hearing the sound, the sonic boom. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unluckily, the first launch that I watched on TV live while I was a child was Challenger 5.
Yes.
Which was blowout. You know,
Yep.
six people died, and
Yep.
it was very tragic and very. It makes me very sad. Well, I was very little child, and this was my first lunch after getting my conscious at that age.
Yes.
But then I started to after this incident I started to investigate about spaceships, lines, NASA, the Cold War between United States and Soviet Union, about especially aerospace investments. And the economy and science fiction literature, cinema, and now I'm 41, and after that incident, while I was, I don't know, 6-7 years old or 8, become a man who loves space and who loves science fiction.
Yeah. So it actually inspired you in some way, or you have some connection to who you are.
Yes.
And I'm curious about the science fiction that fascinates you. Can you tell me about it? Yeah.
Oh, which part you wonder?
Just feel into it. Which part of it actually captivates you most? What are your favorite science fiction books? What are your favorite ideas?
My science fiction, I have a lot of science fiction books. Favorite one is, of course, Philip K. Dick's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Okay.
I love the book. I love the movie Blade Runner. It's a cult movie and very popular, and there is also a Noir detective story inside.
Yes.
An apocalyptic future and some cyberpunk items inside it. I love all these future theories because unfortunately I'm not an optimistic person for future. When I review the environment, industry, and the behavior of the politicians, unfortunately, for the future, I'm a little bit pessimist and
not looking very good, is it?
Try to understand the future from these kind of books and stories. Also, I like Isaac Asimov, Ursula K. Le Guin, Harry Harrison, generally adventure fictional science fiction novels, and Robert A. Heinlein, I think what was the surname of the guy? Andrew also, who wrote the Solaris book? A Polish writer, Stanislaw Lem. Yes, I also love Solaris, the book and the movie. This kind of things that I love.
Yeah. So you mentioned this apocalyptic science fiction theme, and
Yes.
when we look at the current state of the planet and we're honest with ourselves about what's going on, things aren't that optimistic. So I'm curious. It seems like these settings, these science fiction settings, take place where things aren't going so well, and that's the backdrop, that's the setting. Things have actually gone downhill. And from that point, where does the story go? What's the fundamental theme?
I think as a fictional novels, we should also read science fiction as a predict, like
Yes.
forecast.
Yeah.
So we need to use these ideas, these futuristic guests, as a warning.
Yes.
All humans I'm mentioning. So we need to be careful about environment, about industry, about politics, and people behaviors. So science fiction literature, okay, it's for fun, but also there are very important indicators.
Yeah.
There are important warning points, red alerts for
Yeah.
people. I
You
think we should distribute so many people, especially give as a gift these kind of books to the politicians.
yeah.
There is a novel Harry Harrison wrote. It's called Make Room, Make Room, and it is about high population, and there is no space for people. There is no also enough food, enough water for people. It's also a noir story. It's a detective story, but the environment of the book shows us that the near future became worse than today, not a
Yeah.
better than today. So
Yeah.
if you have not read the book, you should find and I think read. It's
Okay.
very good and dramatic book.
Yeah.
And there's also in the baseline very good love story and adventure story, detective story. It's a noir book. It's Harry Harrison's Make Room, Make Room. There was a movie, but very old one, like 1968 something. Charlton Heston was starring, but it was not a good movie. But the book is so good, you should read for future
Okay.
prediction.
All right. And so, in your opinion, you think that these stories and looking ahead and imagining these possibilities, if people like politicians or people in power were actually to discover these ideas and learn from them, that we might have a chance of creating a better outcome in the future? What do you think?
I think all systems, there's an entropy. We all die.
Yes.
Not I'm talking about dying personally. The planet, the whole humanity will die. If
Yes.
we act better, we can longer our lifetime.
So we can increase our lifetime.
Yes, we can increase our lifetime of human being, lifetime of our planet. But eventually, soon or later, of course, like all other systems, we will die. But if we increase our lifetime, we will have a chance to invent a new planet, to go somewhere else, to protect ourselves, the human race.
Okay.
This is so important because now, today's technology, there is no chance to go anywhere with these kind of engines, this kind of aerospace technologies. We cannot go anywhere. But
Right.
in maybe 1,000 years or 2,000 years, human race can invent some different technologies to go some other planets better, to save themselves. This
Yes.
is this duration is so important. If we can increase this duration more than, for example, 3,000 years or 4,000 years, maybe we will have a chance as human race to find a solution.
Hmm.
But if we act like today, to make pollution or to make different stupid wars, nuclear wars to each other, or continue our stupid lifestyles, maybe human race lifetime will end after 1,000 years, maybe 500 years later. So we might doesn't have any chance to find a new technology to go somewhere, and we
Okay.
will maybe all disappear. We all
Yeah.
die as human race. This
Okay.
is the more dangerous things. So to gain time, maybe give us a chance. Maybe
Yeah.
not. I don't know. But you know, the life is possibilities. So if you increase your positive possibility, maybe you will have a chance.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's why people should read science fiction.
Yeah. Okay. I like that answer, and I think an important thing to add is it's not only about buying time, but it's about increasing our quality of life, increasing the
Of
quality
course.
life of our children and their children, having clean
Yes.
water to drink so that they can
To
actually
protect,
go.
not today, to protect our future.
Yeah, absolutely. So I imagine for the children of this planet, I hope that they'll be able to see green forests and clean rivers and be
Yes.
able to breathe healthy, clean air and continue to grow and develop in lots of beautiful ways. So not just technologically, but
Yes, of course.
also in human ways, and the way that they treat each other and the way that we treat the planet and other species. Yeah.
People should think why dinosaurs lost.
Hmm.
They were the strongest species in the world, but now they are not here. Why? Because they are they were not so flexible.
True.
Humans are more different than, of course, dinosaurs, but think about that. These species were the most strongest one to
Yeah.
live, but some things happened and they gone, they disappeared. And one day, this something can be come again. We
Yeah.
should be ready. We should be ready for it.
Well, this is a big part of the story too, is that we can't control everything, and
Yes,
there are cosmic events
of course.
that
But
can,
maybe we can precautions. We can have precautions.
yeah, and
We
we
cannot
can,
control, but we can have plan B, plan C's.
yeah, so we can increase the time we have to create more possibilities.
Yes,
We can increase the quality of life, and I mean, that's worthwhile right there.
of
Increase
course.
the not only the knowledge but the technology, but also the way we interact with each other. So, yeah. Hmm. So, what else, if you don't mind, kind of switching gears a little bit, what else is really fascinating to you on the planet right now that's happening in this world that really captivates your attention?
Positively fascinating or just shocked?
We can go shocked.
Okay, let's think about it. I shocked when I see people still act like they were in 1950s, especially
Okay.
some countries or some politicians. We are now in 21st century, but people behave like we were in 18th century. This is I never understand.
Okay.
This is what I never understand, and I try to develop my environment, close environment, to give ideas to teach people. But personally, it's not enough. I think educated and civilized people should do something, because we are the luckier ones. We should help the unluckier ones to develop themselves with information, with vision, and to help them. Because I believe that God create people not equal. Some people are more clever. So these people have a responsibility to help the others in a positive way. But when I see people, the politicians, especially in civilized and developed countries, when they act like they were in 1950s or 1940s, I'm shocked. And come on, guys, we are in the same planet, and we have to protect the planet first, because we are in the same ship.
Yes. Yeah.
If it sinks, we all die.
True. Yeah, it can be shocking to experience the reality of how people view the world and what their intentions are, what they're actually doing. So, in your opinion, or if you could imagine politicians behaving like it was the 20th century, 21st century, how would you imagine them behaving? What would they do? What changes would they be making right now?
I think they should be more cooperative with each other. They should stop fighting each other. They should try to make plan to be organized to do something for our future. This is very important, because when you act as a short-term man, you just think yourself, and it's like being selfish. But if you're a strategic guy, if you have some vision for future, you can be cooperative with the other people to build a better system for the future. This is very important. But now people act just for today, to earn money, to just live better conditions. They never think about the future, and they'll just let some other people to think about future. This is, I think, it's become to me a very silly behavior. But I'm not a politician. I just have a one vote, and just for my country. So we all try to do something better.
Yeah. So if politicians were to start to, not just politicians, but everybody, were to start to actually focus on the problems at hand, look at the reality, the circumstances that we're actually in, and start to address them intelligently, what would that look like? What kind of technologies would we see unfold? What kind of government cooperation would we see? What kind of environmental impacts would it have? What are your ideas?
Just an example, Elon Musk's company, the electricity car producer Tesla, never use their patent rights. They just publish all technology on internet, and they are saying everybody can use our technology, because we are in the same ship, and we just invent something to protect this ship. So we have to share it with everybody. This is the philosophy that everybody should follow.
Are you there?
Yes. Yeah.
I can hear you and see you now.
Okay.
So it is refreshing to know that there are some examples of people actually making some changes. Another one that I've seen is there are now projects underway to start cleaning up the Pacific garbage patch. And they've actually gone out and started to pick up trash, which
yes, nice. I know this project. I heard it. It's a good project.
Yeah.
Okay, Richard, our time is over.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your conversation.
Yep, thank you as well. Very nice to meet you, and I hope you have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, goodbye. Yeah.